First, I will start by drawing the labial aspect. I will follow the same procedure described for maxillary central incisor. That's to say, by drawing 3 reference lines. One passes through the incisal edge, the second through the cervical area, and the third through the root apex. So I need to measure the crown or mark the crown length and root length to draw these 3 lines. In addition, I will draw the vertical line that bisects the tooth into 2 equal halves, which is the midline. So I'll start by drawing the incisal line, or the line that passes through the incisal edge. Then I will draw a perpendicular line to it, represent the midline, which bisects the crown and root. The crown length is 9 mm, multiplied by 4 equals 36 mm. I will measure from this line up 36 millimeters. This is 10, 20, 30, and this is 36. I put a mark and draw a second line parallel to the first line. This will represent the line that passes through the cervical area. The third line, which passes through the root apex, I should mark the length of the root, which is 13 millimeter multiplied by 4 equals 52 millimeters. So I will measure from the cervical line up 52 millimeters. And this is 52. I put a mark and draw the third line, which is parallel to the previous 2 lines and perpendicular to the midline. Then I should mark the dimensions of the tooth mesiodistally, which is the mesiodistal diameter of the crown that extends between the mesial contact area and distal contact area, and the mesiodistal diameter of the crown at cervix. At cervix, the width is 5 millimeters, multiplied by 4 equals 20, divided by 2 equals 10. So I will measure from the midline 10 millimeters to the mesial and 10 millimeters to the distal. Don't forget to mark the sides of the tooth. This is the mesial and this is the distal. So I mark 10 to the mesial and 10 to the distal. This is the width or the mesiodistal diameter of the crown at cervix. The mesiodistal diameter of the crown at the crest of curvatures, or between 2 contact areas, is 6.5 millimeters multiplied by 4 equals 26, divided by 2 equals 13. So to mark these points, I should know the exact position of mesial and distal contact areas. The mesial contact area is located more incisally at the junction of the incisal and middle thirds, while the distal contact area is more cervically located in the middle of the middle third of the crown. So I need to divide the crown into 3 equal vertical parts. 36 divided by 3 equals 12. So I will measure 12 and put a mark. This is the first third. Here is 12, and this is the cervical third. I will draw the lines that divide the crown into equal vertical thirds. So mesially, I will measure 13 millimeters and put a mark. This represents the position of the mesial contact area. While distally, in the middle of the middle third, I will measure 13 millimeters and put a mark. About the middle of the middle third, I will measure 13 millimeters and put a mark. After completing placing all the marks, I will start drawing the outlines of the crown. The mesial outline is straight or slightly convex. First I will drop a straight line from the cervical line. Then the line will widen gradually to the mesial contact area to make contact with the adjacent central incisor. The mesio-incisal angle is rounded, and it's more rounded than its central incisor counterpart. The distal outline is more convex with more rounded distal incisal angle. So the incisal edge is slightly curved because of the more rounded mesio-incisal and distal incisal line angles. Then I will draw the cervical line. The crest is located at this reference line, at the cervical reference line. It is regularly or smoothly curved, like that of the central incisor. Then I will draw the outlines of the root. The root is narrower than that of the central incisor. And tapers evenly from the cervical area. The root tapers evenly from the cervical line to a point approximately 2/3 of its length. Where it curves in a distal direction. Notice that the root apex is quite curved toward the distal. The curvature mainly occurs in the apical third of the root. Most of the tapering occur in the mesial outline of the root, and the apex of the root, which is curved, is almost in line or with the cervix of the crown. Now we move to the lingual aspect. I followed the same procedure. I have drawn the midline, the reference lines, and divided the crown vertically into 3 equal thirds. Now I will mark the mesiodistal crown dimensions. At cervix, as we said, it's 10 mm. So I will measure 10 to the mesial and distal. This is to the mesial and this is to the distal. Then I will mark the mesiodistal crown dimension at crest of curvatures or at the mesial and distal contact area. It's 13 mm mesially, and the contact area is located at the junction between the incisal and middle thirds. So on this line I will measure 13 mm and put a mark. While distally, as we explained previously, it's located in the middle of the middle third. So I will measure 13 mm and put a mark in the middle of the middle third of the crown. Then I will start drawing the crown outlines in following the same procedure as I did for the labial aspect. Then the distal outline, which is more convex, and the distal incisal angle is more rounded. I draw the cervical line. This is the crest of the cervical line, which is a uniform curve, extends from the cervical reference line toward the incisal area. The only difference between the lingual and labial aspects is the surface anatomy of the lingual surface of the crown. In the cervical third, we have the cingulum, which is prominent. I'll draw it like this. And this is the mesial marginal ridge. And this is the distal marginal ridge. Both are more prominent than those in the central incisors. We have more developed linguoincisal edge. The lingual fossa is more concave and circumscribed. Sometimes we can see deep developmental grooves in the lingual fossa extending toward the cingulum. Now I complete the root outlines. As we said, the root tapers evenly from the cervical area toward the apical third, where it curves distally. This is the lingual aspect completed.